Weekend's action, of course, and you're off the back of, unfortunately, a disappointing result, again away from home. It just seems though you can crack it at the moment. But what are you expecting now?
From away from home?
Yeah.
Well, we've got to make adjustments away from home. We've tried a couple of things in the last 2 games, just to give us a feel on how things look in terms of what we're trying to do. But the obvious one is we've got to pick up more points away from home. Our as a club in tradition, our away record isn't good, nowhere near good enough. So we have to come up with the solutions for that. I've got an idea for what I'd want it to look like away from home, a little bit more next year. So the idea behind what we did on Tuesday, we actually got what we thought we'd get, was opportunities. Reflect on the game, and there's 20 final third entries. A number of them are real opportunities. We should have taken a couple of those opportunities because of obviously what went on in the other end. It makes it more difficult. But we've got ideas, and I've got plans for how I want a way form to change and look next season. So we'll be working hard to try and implement that.
Well, you've got one more game to go away from home, but you've got 2 games coming up at home to end your season at the Mournflake Stadium, and I would imagine that you're hoping that you can keep a good home record intact that has happened in the last few games.
Yeah, our own form's been decent over recent games. That's always the aim. We know what we want the performance to look like, and we've reiterated that to the players through video, through shape work, through training. So we expect the players to perform in a manner we want them to. Like I say, we're at home, and we want to put a performance on.
We'll talk more about Swindon a little bit later, but as the season draws to that close, I think it's going to be over 30 odd games. It's moved quickly. And how it felt for you since you actually took the leadership of the management role. How much is that experience going to help you?
I think it's going to help me massively, because throughout that period there's been occasions where we've had to battle for performances in terms of picking up results and so on. And I think the lessons I've learned along the way are going to help me massively moving forward. I'm having some nice conversations with people outside the football club, which are helping. But you have to learn quickly in this job. You have to learn quickly and avoid to repeat the same mistakes every week in terms of what I'm doing, because you make 1,000 mistakes on the sideline. Every manager will tell you the same. So it's important that you don't repeat them same mistakes. And finding more time to reflect. Like you say, it goes quick. It goes so fast. You're on to the next game really quickly. You have to find a window to reflect. All the buzzwords to reflect how you're going to get better, how the team are going to get better. And that's something I've taken on board massively. Likewise with the players, reflecting with the players in groups, individuals, to try and get the best out of them.
As you work week to week in this period of having these games, you stamp your own mark on it. Do you still feel there's some more of Lee Bell's mark to come when you kick off next season?
Absolutely. Yeah, lots more to come in terms of what I'm looking for from the players, from myself, from the staff. I'm pretty demanding, and I've got more demands that I want to implement, not just on the pitch, but things off the pitch which will help the players. I had a meeting with all the staff when I took the job, and the players are the most important. We've got to do everything we can on and off the pitch to get these players and players that are going to come into the building into a position where we can improve. So there's not always just work on the pitch, it's off the pitch to push them in the right direction. How
big a summer rebuild do you think it's going to be?
I wouldn't say there's going to be a massive influx of players. That won't be happening. It's important that we get the right players. The permanent ones, we get the right players and identifying them, which we're doing. We know which direction we want to go in and how we want to play. But I wouldn't hang your hat on a big influx of players. There'll be some who will leave us through decisions of us and decisions of their own. Then what we've got to do is get the right players in to improve us in the areas we want to.
We know that you have to focus on games that you're playing, but of course, as you mentioned, football moves on very, very quickly, and it's non-stop. are the moves being made towards next season already with players that going out of contract and players that you might want to offer contracts?
Yeah, we've had them conversations over the last month with players. It's important to get their feelings on their own futures and their situations, because we want to come to a conclusion quickly either way. So them conversations have gone on. There's conversations to be had next week, which I'll do with some of the players in terms of what direction we want to go with players that are here in terms of out of contract or if you're in contract. So there'll be some discussions to be had next week to finalise what direction we're going to be moving with players. One
game at a time, 3 to go. And in terms of who you're playing at home, you've got two of the biggest clubs probably each still in League Two in Swindon. First of all, that's the first one you concentrate on, followed by Bradford. But what are you wanting from that final 3 game running? What do you want to take out of it?
I want to see some players. That's what I want to do. I want to see some players and get a judgment on them over the next couple of games. But that's one aim. The aim is always to win football matches, pick up maximum points. Again, not like any other, unlike any other club, it will be the same, picking up them points. But I want to see some energy within the performances. I go back to, I wish I hadn't said it now. I was talking about being on the beat. I wish I hadn't said it because, we look at stats away from the games and the stats are quite high, but the reflection and the results can sometimes think, and that's not the case. But I want to see some energy, particularly at home. I'd expect Bradford to sold out. They'll be fighting maybe after Saturday still to get in the playoffs. So that'll be a good football match, under the lights, big crowd. But we've got to concentrate on what we want to do, and I want demand the players put in performances.
You introduced your goalkeeper on Tuesday night. Is there chances that there might be a couple of other youngsters involved for your fans at the weekend?
I don't see players like second-year scholars, for example, coming in. Obviously, Mattis has not been with us for the last few weeks. He'd come back from injury and play for the 18s, so that's why he's not been with us. But in terms of just seeing some players in and out the team, what they might add for us within the squad we've got. So I wouldn't envision any more really younger players coming in into that fold in terms of getting on the first team pitch. We've got to see some of the players that we've got here with what's coming around the corner.
Well, the opponents are Swindon. You're probably aware, I don't know whether you are aware, but I'll just remind you, you won there, which was a victory with Dan Ajayi scoring a penalty. It is your last chance to complete a double this season. You haven't been able to get a double, so that'll be just a little bit of an incentive for the players.
Yeah, that's always an incentive to it'd be nice to get a double on them, but we've got other incentives and the reasons why we're looking to perform and show what we're capable of. It was a really good away performance, everyone doing their jobs, which you have to. They've got the highest ball retention in the league. That ain't going to change overnight where we're going to end up having more possession than them. That's just their way of playing it. We've got to make sure they can do that in the right areas. But they're a good team. I'm looking forward to meeting their manager, Jordan Morris. Looking forward to just picking his brains. He's got a wealth of experience at the top level. So, we're looking forward to it. But it would be nice to get a double, yeah.
They show what they are. I think they've got 58 goals scored, and we don't know what the team will be, but they've got a squad of players that includes, a top Premier League player a few years ago in Charlie Austin. So it just shows how big a club it is.
Yeah, they've got a really good squad. I know they're a bit bare in certain areas at the minute, but they've got a really good squad. Players can come out and come in, and it's like for like, or there's improvements all the time. But they have got a big squad. Charlie Austin, again, wealth of experience. I think it's brilliant what he's done going back to Swindon and helping out. So when, not end his career, not writing him off, not saying he's retiring now, but, again, a wealth of experience within the team. They like to attack, they like to score goals, and we're going to have to combat that, both defending and attacking.
Just wrapping it up, everything okay from the other night? No updated extra injuries? Yeah,
there's just one or two are carrying knocks. Charlie Finney's carrying a knock. Rio's back with us, but not 100% where he's at. Ryan, we've got to be careful with Ryan Finnegan. There's just one or two, no real injuries, but there's one or two we're going to have to be mindful with. Again, we played Saturday, Tuesday, and then it's Wednesday again after Saturday. So we're just going to have to be mindful of them, because what we don't want is a major injury in these next 3 games. We want a clean bill of health, get the players away from the building for a period of time, ready to come back in pre-season.